first. And they're kind of cool, or we can do the finial first. I don't know which. Okay. And this is pin jaws, is what they call this chuck. And it's wobbly, and I don't know why it wants to be wobbly. You have glasses on,
These are the ones that I wore at the shooting range when the thing got in my eye.
the thing.
Yeah, one of the Shokey things flew behind my glasses and hit me in the eyeball.
But we'll try not to do that here. Ah. Okay. It's all right. So, tighten this guy down. And now we see which one. Okay, this has got a little bump on it, so this will go on the inside
Okay.
to hide it. Now, see, I've got a split in here. When I bring this up, that cone is going to force these two pieces of wood apart. Alright? And that locks it in place. And there's this, oh, thank you. There's the split. And when the cone goes in that, it opens it up. And now this is held quite tightly.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, now, I cheat a lot. And the way I'm cheating here is I'm looking at something that's parallel, and I've got to get it to where it's parallel with that side, and then I come over here. So we can see now, if we look up here, that that is parallel with 60 degree, and it's about parallel with this. So that makes it easier for me to cut this stuff. Now, the only problem is this is faceplate oriented, and if we cut this way, the cut will run ahead of the grain. So I have to get a little hook tool in here. Yeah, this one's scary. scraper. Close to being 60 degrees all the way around. Okay, now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to get my little shell over here. And since we have a there with the shell, and like you say, it makes it shiny. So I can come over here and say, alright, there is a line that corresponds kind of thing up on the shell to square it up. Okay, I can see that I can come down quite a bit on this line. That bottom line is still outside the shell.
Okay.
So now this is out, and I can take this off. And I've messed up I had a layer of masking tape on that because I was doing something else. Maybe it'll hold right. Turn it over the other way and come back up in here. And no. Yes, let me get over here and lean on that. That's the Franken-lathe part of it. It's not held quite as tight, but it's tight enough. Okay, so when we make the finial, we've got about that much wood. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to make some kind of little decorative something here.
Okay.
And I've got to stop right kind of before that second line.
So in between those two lines?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So it's still running true. That's all I can do with that one because this gets in the way. So what I've got to do now is I've got to shape this by doing a scrape with this spindle gouge. And it's a shear scrape. put a little curve on it. Black mark off. Alright, got some tool marks there. So, added tool marks. This is doing good. Sandpaper that I was using was old and worn out. This is a fresh piece. And you see I took all of that nastiness off of there. Now let's see what kind of other sandpaper we got up here. Yeah, that's 220. You have to run through all of the flavors of sandpaper and the wax and the polish and eye of newt, wing of bat, all that other magical stuff, and you put it on pressure. You see how nice it makes it look? Not. Okay. Friction between the paper towel and the gizmo.
I got a little hand. Do you want me to try?
No, I want to find my stick. There it is. Down there so it doesn't fall on the ground. Sock back in place. Now we can probably hear us. And see, that makes it nice and shiny. And this part here doesn't really count because that's going to be covered up by the finial.
Gotcha.
Alright, so that's that piece. Now Frankenlathe, just get loose. Looks like a piece of pipe, but it's actually a wrench.
So smart.
Now, oops. I've taken a piece of rosewood that I got from Kate Richardson. And I had it. Okay. I had a center on it, and I've got clamped in the jaws so that it'll run true again.
Gotcha.
Or kind of true. But I'm not ready for it to run true. What I do that's backwards of everybody else is I make the big end of the finial down here. And the reason I do that, I didn't used to do that. I used to make the big end up here and then drill the hole for the piece of wire that joins them. And I'd always get the hole at some wrong angle.
Gotcha.
So I started doing it this way. And that's a 16th inch drill bit. And just drill down a ways. And it's on the same center. Okay. So now it's in the chuck, but it has the revolving center in it. And we always want to turn the lathe off when we're mucking about with the banjo. And what I do is I sight down along this to here and make those parallel. See, you can look down in there, see how it's parallel?
Yep.
Yeah. It makes it easier for me when I'm turning it. And then I knock off all of the extra bits and bobs of finish and stuff that's stuck to this, so that the tool will run across it smooth. Okay. Now, this is a spindle roughing gouge, and when you see them on YouTube and they come up here and they got all the wrong angle, and they do something like that, it makes a really ugly cut. And they say, well, that's a roughing gouge for you. No, it's not. If they'd have paid the extra $5 and got the smoothing gouge attachment, they wouldn't have that problem. Anchor the tool, touch the bevel, and raise the handle. You see it start cutting? Now, I'm still cutting air, but oh look, it's a smooth surface. Smoothing gouge attachment, extra $5. And what I'm doing is I'm simply going down, getting rid of all the flat spots.
Gotcha.
All right. Now, all the flat spots are gone. Okay? Now it's your turn. There's what I want you to do.
Alright.
Okay. Now you're going to have to come and stand here, because this is the correct way of holding this tool to go this direction.
Okay.
I was holding it the other way so that I could talk to you at the same time. Okay. of the tool on the tool rest, and you touch the heel or the bevel,
Okay.
and then you raise this handle
Okay.
until you can see the wood just starting to come over. And now all I'm doing is I'm shifting my weight from all of my weight's on my left foot. This is pushing down, and I'm shifting my weight to my right foot. So I'm doing this motion. Okay? This doesn't move.
Okay.
So you got the triangle here, and this is going to be a little bit high for you. Okay. The tool rest height determines where the handle lines up when it's cutting. Okay, that's the handle back here, and that's about right for you. Okay, so you put that there.
Okay. Like that.
Lock that together.
Okay. Okay.
Now I'm going to do this real slow. Not that slow. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up here. And you're rubbing the bevel. See how the handle raised up that little bit? And where it is right now on you right here, I want you to keep it there.
Okay.
And take this foot and move it toward me about 6 inches. Okay.
I can't tell this.
Now we're going to come over here. Now I've got to turn the speed up. Okay. It's a little bit bumpy when it's not round.
Okay.
You see, all you did was shift your weight. I've got a hold of it here so that it's kind of anchored by a large mass. Alright, shift your weight.
I'm shifting, but it's not working. Oh, there we go.
And you see you're supplying push with your left hand, and you're holding down with your right. Alright. It's all you now.
I don't think I'm doing it right.
Well, alright.
Anchor.
Take the tool, rub the metal, raise the handle until you see it start to cut.
Okay, is that cutting?
That's got it. See the little shavings coming across?
Yeah.
And what you got to do is you got to supply a little bit of push.
Okay.
Go this way.
Okay.
But all we're doing right now is we're just going from square around.
Gotcha.
Alright, let's look at
Okay, let's look at it.
it. Okay.
Oh, it's not as ugly as I
There's
thought it
no flat spots on it anywhere.
would.
So
good,
that's
right?
what we want to do.
Okay.
Now, let me hold this a minute. So now I can come up here, anchor bevel cut, and I'm touching the tool rest with my finger and using it as a depth gauge to slide along and make it kind of the same diameter. Okay.
Gotcha.
Alright, now, I'm going to put this one down for now.
Okay.
Back in my little U-shaped slot up there. And what you're going to do is you're going to show me what you want it to look like from there. So this part is going to be where the shell is and the
Okay.
transition piece.
And
And
then
I've
this is
just
gonna be
marked
like the
that for the transition piece. And now you're going to have to either come down to a swoopy thing,
So this is going to be the
or-
part that hangs down.
or you're going to have something here and some fanciness here and come down to some kind of a little ball,
Okay.
or you're going to do something this way and then you're going to do something this way,
Oh
and
my
then you're
goodness.
going to do something this way, and then you're going to do something this way.
Okay.
But the more ups and downs and humps and bumps,
Mm-hmm.
the harder it is to make.
Well, shit. Okay. I don't know, Grandpa.
Well, you're
I wa-
making it,
I know.
and if you don't know what it's going to look like,
But-
that'll be an ugly Christmas ornament.
Well, I know. It's going to be ugly anyways because
No, it
I don't
ain't.
know what I'm doing.
No, it ain't.
Can we make like little...
Tell me about it. What do you want?
Like, I just want to have it like 4 little balls.
You want bumps.
Yeah. Are those hard?
Oh, bumps. Bumps are hard. But
Is it gonna be...
bumps it is.
What's harder, the bumps or the little uppy down thingies?
Anything
feel
that
like
isn't a straight curved line is hard. Your Christmas ornament that you picked out last night
Uh-huh.
was a straight curved line.
And
There wasn't a whole lot of stuff to it, was
no.
there? Okay.
But this isn't for me.
No, of course not. Okay.
Okay.
So,
I want 4 bumps.
4 bumps.
Yes.
Okay. So we've got to come down here to fit in that hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got to come down to something.
Okay.
And then you're going to want bumps,
Mhm.
okay? We want to bump 1, 2, 3, 4 bumps. Oh, Lord.
What's wrong?
And then we're going to have a straight part down here,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to have a little ball on it.
Okay.
And the reason I put a ball on the end of the finial
Mm-hmm.
is because of your mother.
Oh, what'd she do?
She has an aversion to seeing blood on her children.
Yes.
So when you were little and jerking Christmas ornaments off the tree, I didn't want one of these pointy things to hit you in the toe and cause you to start bleeding. That's right.
So there's little balls
The
because
little
I'm
ball on
clumsy.
the end is to keep me from being chewed out by your mother because your toe was bleeding
Oh,
when
because
you were
I'm clumsy.
when you were being a child. No, you weren't clumsy. You were a child. You know. Now I can say, Chloe, don't touch the ornaments on the Christmas tree,
Yes,
and you'll
sir.
go thumb your nose at me and go move them wherever you want them to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you know not to drop them.
I don't drop them anymore.
Because when you were little, you had one in your hand and you'd go, squirrel, and drop that one and go do something else. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I was
Now.
an interesting child.
Okay, so what we've got to do here is we have to measure this. It has to be at least that diameter. And we see we've got it. We can come down a little bit.
Yeah.
Here, right at this level,
Okay.
and it'll hide all of that.
Alrighty.
Right. But this has to come down to 1/2 inch and fit that. So, 1/2 inch tis.
Tis.
This tool here, and it is this tool here. Alright, so remember I said that the tool rest height was the tell you where the tool handle was, and you always turn it by hand to make sure that this metal part don't hit that metal part.
Because then that would be bad.
Yeah, I have to have a new metal part. Okay, you should always start with the spindle gouge with the flute straight up and down. This is the flute. Straight up and down, and it makes a line. And you turn this just a little bit and push. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure this hole.
Okay.
And
That's a nifty tool.
kind of zero it. This hole is a 1/2 inch. Look at that. 1/2 inch right there. Which is just what it should be. Now I'll run this back up to 1/2 inch. A little bit more than 1/2 inch. And I'm going to just put it on there and see where it comes. And straight up and down, make a line. Listen to flute. And push. And we see that we went a little bit further than 1/2 inch. Okay. Now, got my little Chinaman hat there. Knock him off. And it's I can see a difference in the shiny right there, and that's telling me that's just the right diameter.
Well, yay.
Well, yay. Alright, so now I'm going to go here, and I'm looking at the flute, at the bevel, and I'm making it 90 degrees to the axis of rotation, and I'm making a mark with it. And I'm going to come back over here. There's a couple little scrapes. Now, this tool has a burr on the edge. And I'm not going to be able to use it because I'm going to run into that thing. Well, darn. We have to do it the hard way. that isn't going to fit. I know it's not going to fit.
Why is it not going?
Because the thing is too big. But I proved it to myself, so I know that it's too big.
Well, it's good that we proved it.
Yeah. Now I'm going in. And I can measure it now. 505. So it's 5 thousandths too big. 5 thousandths isn't much. Look at that.
Hey, it fits.
Fits like a glove, just like we designed it to.
Look at that.
Look at that. Now, I can leave that on there to help me see where I want this one to go. No. Straight up and down, make a line, open the flute. And see, that's just about where we want it. You can you see it comes right down to the V, right there, just at the right spot. Okay, now that's right where we want it. And now I don't need this on here anymore, so I can take it away and not confuse me. Okay. Now that's a little bit rounded. That's just what I wanted. A little bit of a shear straight. Alright. Now do you want it to come down this way to the first bump? And how big do you want the bumps? How big around? They need to be smaller than this.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine, yeah.
Alright, so you want to come down to the bumps with it being a concave curve, so kind of a cove there, or do you want it to go rounded to it? Yeah, this way?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I want to do, I'll go back to this guy. And I'm going to take this down. I'm bigger here than I am here. So the bumps necessarily will have to be bigger, and they'll continue getting smaller.
Okay.
So it'll go bump, 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 bump.
Okay.
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 Where are you going?
we turn it. Alright, so I gotta have this swoopy thing, but I don't have any place for the sawdust to go. So I've got to make a place for the sawdust to go as I'm going down. Alright, now I'm going to start and what I want to look at right now is if there are any little imperfections in that, and there's a little bit of one. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of get over here. Alright, that pointy edge is pretty near perfect. I don't see, but more importantly, I don't feel any little jagged things sticking up. Okay. Did, I was coming down here, and right about here the cutting edge caught, and I have a catch. That's what a catch is. So when you get off of the bevel and onto the cutting edge, it catches and you skate. But that's alright, because all of that's waste wood. Right? Okay, you want to do the next one?
Sure, if you show me.
I just did.
Okay, we gotta walk me through it again.
V, it has a tendency to collect fuzzies,
Okay.
and the way you get rid of them is by closing the flute and going in.
Okay.
It cuts them right off. Bumps you were thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
Are close enough so as to not matter. Alright, now this is going to mimic this surface,
Okay.
but it's going to be smaller. Bouncy on Watchy Watchy. Okay. Now we got to figure out how long. Yeah, that's going to be about appropriate. Okay. See, it's supported here, it's held here in the chuck. And I'm taking this down finer and finer, but I'm leaving wood here. Whoopity. Now we're going to do a little sanding, and you always take the tool rest away when you're doing sanding.
Okay.
Because if you get between what you're making and the tool rest, you'll go around about 3 times before you can get loose of it. Not a good
No,
thing.
that sounds painful.
Yeah, real painful. Now, those that I'm working on right there are tool marks. And sanding tool marks out is not a bad thing. And that wasn't a tool mark, that was just a sandpaper mark. And because I was using a very sharp spindle gouge, I'm able to do my rough sanding with fine sandpaper. Now, up here, a little sandpaper packer thing. This one has kind of a bulge right there, so we can actually shape it a bit with the sandpaper. Leave that part alone. Corners, as I get around it with both of my bare paws, and then I come back the other way.
Okay.
And that's probably good enough. don't see any really bad spots except right there is a fuzzy. Okay, fuzzies. Only get taken out with the tool.
Got it. Perfect.
Okay, for the most part, all the fuzzies went away. Now, we're going to do finishing.
Yay, I like this part.
Now, I'm not going to put any finish on this because
Okay.
that needs to be glued.
Gotcha.
So, look and see. Yeah, we got it everywhere. Now, that's a little skinny piece of wood. And you can't push it real hard.
Gotcha.
So, but we need a lot of pressure to melt the wax.
So can I just pinch?
So you just pinch.
Oh, look at me go.
Look at you go. So, you just pinch. Alright?
Okay.
So you just pinch and get all of it that you can without putting sideways pressure on.
Okay.
Now, it's going to heat up the paper towel, so don't burn your fingers.
Okay.
Don't worry about trying to get all.
Okay.
The trick for getting all. And those spots where you can't get easy, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I got that one there.
I got one.
That surface of that one.
I think I did pretty darn good, Grandpa. How'd I do?
Wonderful. I am looking for a ball of string.
A ball of string?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a flat foil. Here it is.
Right there?
Yeah, right here. What you do is you get your piece of string.
You go put that in the little V's?
Yep.
You're so smart.
This is butcher's twine, so it's cotton.
Ooh. So it's not gonna like pop.
And what you have to do is you have to get like a couple of them.
Oh, gotcha.
And de bumps, de bumps.
Yep, there's 4 of them.
Yep.
Technically, there's 5.
Yeah, well, that's a technical bump. That's a ball. Okay. Now, what we have to do is this unfinished piece down here.
Mm-hmm.
If you put that on the Christmas ornament, it's ugly.
Yeah.
So what we have to do is we have to cut that off.
How are we gonna do that without it like and flying everywhere?
Slow.
Okay.
That's fell in the ways. That's all right.
Into the abyss.
Too low.
Kind of looks like a
Just
snowman.
about right. Okay. Over and I touch the bottom of the tool rest so that my arm doesn't get all confused and flop into the chuck.
That's good.
One-handed. Just like that. And I drop the finish. Alright. Now let me take my sanding things here, and where it was a little bump on the bottom, just sand it off. 220 and then 320. All sanded off and all nice and smooth. This goes on there.
So pretty.
Yeah, look at that. It looks just like a Christmas ornament with a seashell stuck on it. Okay. So
We gotta glue those two together.
we will in a minute.
Okay.
What we have to do next is make
top.
one for the top. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, this is I'm just bringing this up for my comparison. And what I want to do is go along that line. Pretty close. Far away from being.
Sorry.
And you see I've got a little bit of a white line right there.
Uh-huh.
That's the top of the shell. So I'm going to come up from the top of the shell, and I'm going to put a black line so that I can see what I'm doing. And then we're going to look in here. Yep, see the black line?
Uh-huh.
Yep, it's right.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, the shell comes to here. So this point, yeah, we don't need it. So, flute is straight up and down, closed. Make a line, open the flute, push, get a little speed. Close the flute, make a line, open the flute, straight in. Close the flute, make a line, open the flute, and push. Okay. Now, we want to eventually attach the top to the bottom. And the bottom has a 16th-inch hole in it to help us do that. So it looks like we ought to have a 16th-inch hole in the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Now, that's more than enough for the top finial. But when you're doing, and you're getting close to this sharp bitey thing here,
Yeah, you don't want to be there.
no.
Gotcha.
And we got all this wood out here that's not doing anything. So let's give ourselves a little safety margin. Safety margarine. More than that to hold it, but we've got to get it centered. And now I'm holding it against the point so that it's centered, and I'm tightening the chuck jaws. Now when we turn it, see it's running through, and we've got our line there. So for the top, all we've got to do is we've got to do something at that line going in this way, and then we need to make a ball for the hoop to hook onto. Okay. Taking that square part off. See how this is stopped? You have to tighten the handle. Alright. Straight up and down. Straight up and down, make a line and open. Straight up and down, make a line and then open. spare wood out of the way. Okay. Straight up and down. Digit. Then open. Straight up and down. Then open. Indian rosewood. Very hard, very oily. Some are a lot worse too. Okay.
So Megan, I told her you were busy. She wondered if you could bring her turtle and her keys to her house. I said around 1:30 or so you probably could.
It's 12:30 now.
Yeah. Be happy to. Alright.
How are you going to transport the turtle?
Any little turtle Tupperware.
Turtle Tupperware.
Sand that down. Get the tool marks out. got to figure out
Did I miss a spot?
oh, it's buried down a little bad piece of grain. Oh well, good enough. All right, you see how it's kind of a round spot there?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to drill through. Because we have to hang this thing on the tree somehow.
Yeah.
Alright. So I've got my little bitty drill here. And it's a little bitty drill.
Mhm.
And what I want to do is I want to find my spot right there. And then I want to start drilling.
Hey, it went through the other side.
Yep, all the way through.
Yay.
And we take this little drill out and put him back over here because touching it against something breaks the little drill.
Ah. 'Cause it's a baby.
Yep. And then we got to do the same thing. Cut it off.
Okay.
Okay, that's out of the way.
Yeah.
And we drilled a hole in there. We got a hole drilled. Be silly about it and cut it off and have it fall down into shavings and never find it.
That would not.
And then we'd have to turn another one.
'Cause then
And we don't have enough wood left.
gone forever.
So, instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go into that drilled hole. Behaved itself very nicely. And we don't even need to hardly sand it at all.
So good.
But
Just a little bit.
a little bit of 220, a little bit of 320, and that's that.
It's like
And
a
then
little
we
hat.
can take this stuff and you just rub a little bit on there. And then you can come down on your pant leg.
Oh.
Or you could get your thing here. And yeah, one little white spot. There you go. Okay, what's next? Well, I'm glad you asked. Next, I have to go in the house. I'll be right back.
Okay. I know you know where the pieces with the door. So cute.
Here.
Maybe go in the house for the fly.
Ouch. What we're going to do now, back over here, got some stainless steel memory wire. Now I just snip a piece off.
So simple.
And
Hello.
find my other bending pliers. Oh well, there's something. Now what we want to do next is we want to take this at about the middle.
Okay.
Alright.
Mhm.
And we're going to bend it around something round. And we get a round thing. And what we're looking for is about the same as that. And since it's memory wire, when you bend it, it springs back quite a ways further until it's just where you want it. Okay, now the next thing is we trim these off to where they're the same from the center.
Gotcha.
Then we take these little pliers to the flat spot and we run that wire right to the edge. And just right at the edge.
Mhm.
And then we bend it like that. Now we take this other one and we run it to the same edge, the same amount, and we bend it. And now you can see how they are. They're right there at about the right spot. Okay, now we want to do
Oh, that's my face.
there's Chloe.
Hi.
Now what we want to do, you want to leave this like this or do you want to make it gilded?
What does gilded mean?
Well,
That's an SAT word that I don't know. I say that I don't know what that word means as I wear a National Honor Society shirt. Oops.
that's metal foil.
Oh.
Oh, this is gilding sheets.
I never seen one like that before.
Okay. So,
That would be.
are we gonna gild it?
Wait. They usually have right here where you could just pull it off, so you don't have to cut it.
How clever are you?
See, I am kind of smart.
No. Now, according to boy, this stuff is going to be like. Okay, there's one for each. That's okay. What we have to do is we have to make the shell sticky.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna set
Okay.
this stuff.
Alright, so we got goo. Let's see what the goo looks like.
It's
Well,
probably got a goo stopper on there. Yeah,
oh look!
goo stopper.
That keeps it from going bad while you're not using it. Yeah, goo stopper.
Something
Now.
fancy.
Let me go find us a painting brush.
Alrighty. Oh, I got a text. Alex just woke up.
Oh my gosh.
Or I just got a good morning text. But I texted. Nope, he just woke up because it was right at 12:44 too.
Oh,
So I don't know what time he has to work today, but oh, he said I'm at work.
Oh, he's at work?
I was like, I'm gonna be very concerned if that doesn't happen.
Okay.
Painting brush.
Get over here where I can see me.
I'm going to move your car out of your courthouse.
Okay. Do you have my keys?
Yes, here on the counter.
Okay. Everything okay at my house? She said.
If you want to go move your car to keep her from tearing it up.
Oh, I have no. She's fine. I'm not worried
I am.
about her driving my car. Why? What? Grandpa, you got goo on it.
Oh, goo on the floor.
Sorry, we'll just brush some sawdust onto it. It'll be all good.
Yeah.
All better. Just a bunch of man glitter. That's all sawdust is.
That's right.
There we go. All better. What's going on at my house?
Well, your mom and I are going to figure out the best way to wrap this and
Oh, okay.
get ready to go to Dawn.
Gotcha. I thought you said something that Luke did. I was like, oh goodness.
Okay. Now, we put that down, we put that down. Actually, why don't you take that in and wash the tip off right there in the little sink.
Okay.
And well, let's see. Goodness gracious.
Ain't that pretty? Okay.
Now, I have to turn that fan off. Now, where'd that little paintbrush go?
Right here.
Okay.
All right, love you. Let's see. Oh, it's just very fragile.
Oh, worse than fragile.
Well, that worked a little bit.
You hold this.
Okay, hold it. Yeah, that might work. Oh, look at us. We're so smart. Are there instructions on here?
Yeah, fragile. Can't hardly touch it.
No, there are not instructions.
Turn that one off too. I'm going to say this one that was right here at the top was hard to get off because it was right here at the top.
Here we go. Gosh, Julie, darn it. She looks funny. Well, I got a little bit. There we go.
Now let's do this with it. Any place else that needs some?
No. I think we're supposed to like brush off the
Yeah.
extra too. Anyway.
like a brush.
Oh, I'm getting a call. Yellow.
Hey, are you home for family dinner tonight?
Probably, yeah, why?
Because I was wondering, just trying to plan.
Yeah, I should be.
Okay, so Alex is working or home or whatever?
Yeah, I think he's working.
Okay.
I'm
You
not
finish your stuff yet, or you still working with Grandpa?
No, I'm still with Grandpa.
Okay, you doing it?
Yep. We
Okay,
should be
talk
done
to you later.
soon. Alright,
Okay, bye.
bye.
I had to skin a sheep to get a brush.
Oh, well, you know, whatever works. Can I try?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Okay. Now what we gotta do. Gotta put a drop of goo.
I think what we should have done is put this in like water so it stretched it out and then dipped it in there.
Okay. Just put it over the bare spots.
This is messy.
Hey, look out now! You got stuff all over you.
That's alright.
Okay, I need a little piece right there.
Okay, let me get a piece. There goes. Boop. I did.
A little piece right there. Little piece right there. Okay.
She should have put instructions on this. It's so funny looking. Probably not.
I got no.
Okay. I think it looks good.
Okay.
There's a crying child. Well, that was interesting.
Don't rub too much off.
I know, I'm trying. It's got so many flakies, I don't know what to do.
Okay, so
It's a shiny seashell.
oh no.
Is it hardened?
It'll still work for me. Just gotta work harder at it. And super glue is not quite so super. Now, if you wait long enough, thin super glue becomes thick super glue.
Oh.
But that goes in there. Then
Just trying to push it all down on there.
okay. All right. Let's see a big hole down
Down.
and put it on here. Now, cutting pliers. You hold on to this piece. That piece goes back in the box.
Oh.
And now we've got that piece there, and we've got our nasty super glue here.
Gross.
All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to try fit it. Okay. Now, okay. So, what I have to do now. That one that way. You hold this one.
Okay.
And we're going to get a little bit of this nasty super glue on that. Now we're going to put this back here. And we're going to put this just like that. Just like that. Then if you hold that there, I can get this. Now we bring it over here.
So pretty.
Christmas ornament 101.
Christmas ornament.
That's how you make them. Now, how much gilding do we still need to gild?
I think we just gotta.
I think we probably need to quit recording.